Everyone talks about how easy offense is here in Madden 26, but between nano blitzes or you sailing wide open passes, you simply don't feel at ease. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down 5 Madden 26 offense tips that if you actually start implementing in your next game, you're going to see your win rate increase by over 93%. You're absolutely not going to miss out on any of the tips I have for you in this video, so let's jump right into it. Alright, the first thing you're going to need on offense really is a one-play touchdown to force the defense further back and open up the underneath. Let me show you the best play to take the top off the defense right now here in Madden 26. Alright, so the play that we're going to be talking about here is going to be Y out from gun tight offset tight end. Now, this play has been a one-play touchdown in every Madden I've played since I started playing, so, you guys can take this, in the future as well. But what we're going to see is we're going to have a corner route on Terry McLaurin, right? And what he's going to do is he's going to hold the outside third down, and it's going to open up room for our skinny post. Now, you want to always make sure that you leave this drag route on the field. I'm going to spy off the pass rush since it's my YouTube video and I don't want to waste any time. But if you do get shedded, right, or you're playing against a coverage that's not cover 3, then you hit your drag underneath. But if we take this snap and we just look at what's going to happen with these zones, you're going to see how Deebo Samuel is going to be able to run over the top, and if Jaden Daniels wants to hit a throw in stride, you're going to have an easy walk-in touchdown. It's exactly what I'm talking about, where you're going to see, okay, Terry McLaurin, you hold this man down, you see how you force him to come down because of this corner out, and then Deebo Samuel on his post is going to be able to run over the top for a huge gain down the field. And again, having a one-play touchdown and multiple one-play touchdowns really from your playbook, this is obviously from the Commander's playbook here, but having that ability is going to force the defense to play scared. So you're going to see it once again. Now, if you don't have time for the bomb, that's why I say don't get too greedy and hit your drag underneath. Because really the worst situation to be in is one where you pass up on a check down on first down or on second down, hoping for a bomb to open up, and it never does. But you're able to see that time once again, we're able to get that great pass down the field. And again, if you get a better rack animation than I am, this is an easy walk-in touchdown. But it's not just done there against, cover 3 defenses, because even against cover 2, we understand the same thing's going to happen, where honestly it's going to be an even easier dot, because once again we're going to be able to move that deep half outside with our corner route, and then that's just going to open up the middle of the field very easily for you to just be able to pass lead this post in the middle. So again, we have our corner out, boom, we move him outside, and then we're going to be able to throw this post route, boom, right in the middle, for a huge gain. And then you also have your drag underneath, for another easy pickup. So it's really like this play Y out, and it's not really done there even, because even against man coverage, honestly, an everything beater. You can call this play against every defense and have success, because if we take the snap against man, look at Terry McLaurin on his corner route. He's able to get open. We're going to be able to bring that pass in. We understand that drag routes also can get open against, man-to-man coverage. So really, this is a great one-point touchdown, but it also is able to beat every defense because of that corner route combined with your drag. All right, having a one-point touchdown is great, but what about when you're trying to set up route concepts? What if you had access to extra hot routes that were honestly kind of glitched? Let me show you exactly how to get extra hot routes here in Madden 26. Alright, so the easiest way to get extra hot routes in this game is to take guys who are going to be in motion after you flip. And so what I mean by that is Terry McLaurin right here is the guy that's in motion right now, but Deebo Samuel, the X receiver, when we flip this play, he's going to be the guy that's the B or the inside receiver. So when I flip this play, I can put Deebo Samuel while he's behind the line of scrimmage on a slot fade, and you see how now it's going to be like a backward slot fade, right? And so it really, you can do this with other routes too, but that's how you see guys set up a route concept like this, simply because they're going to set up the glitch while he's behind the line of scrimmage. And then that's when you can pair this up with a great route concept like this, which is going to absolutely abolish cover 2, right? Because now we're going to see, right, we're going to have our slot fade, our backward slot fade, and you're going to see how he's going to get to a spot in the middle of the defense that you would really never be able to attack if that wasn't the case, right? And so it's really, we're going to try a different route right here. So we're going to flip the play. Now we're going to put him on a post route, and you're going to see how he's going to run. I put him on a post, but now he's running everything backwards, so he's going to run a corner route. Maybe that's not the greatest example, since a corner route really is a route that you can run, but any route that he runs is going to be backwards. And so you see, it's like speed out routes are very valuable too, right? And there's no real way to get a speed out except for using a short cross. So So really what I did is I'm going to, reset this play right here, and I'm going to have Deebo Samuel. I know he's the guy that's going to get the extra high route, so I'm going to flip the play, then I'm going to put him on a short cross, and now you're going to see how he's going to be running a speed out. And so if they run man coverage, for example, we know that speed outs are going to be some of the best routes that you can utilize. So boom, Deebo on his speed out, we're going to be able to get that outside leverage, and turn that into a big gain, versus just putting him on a regular out route's not going to be as great, from the slot. So really, what you have to understand is, okay, you see Terry McLaurin's the guy in motion, but who's going to be that inside receiver after we flip, at least from bunch tight end, right? So we're going to flip. We know it's going to be Deebo, so while he's behind the line of scrimmage, put him on a slot fade, for example, and now you're going to be able to see, the great route concept that we're going to be able to develop from this, simply because we put him on those extra hot routes while he's behind the line of scrimmage. So we're going to go ahead and take this snap right here, and you're just going to see how we're going to be able to get that pass in there. So that's really how you can get extra hot routes in this game. Take a guy who's in motion, and then, whoever is going to be in motion after the snap, that's the guy that you want to hot route. So for bunch tight end, it's going to be that outside receiver here, Deebo Samuel. You can also do this with running backs. If your running back's in motion, right, then you flip the play. Now, if you hot route him while he's behind the line of scrimmage, you can, get access to those extra hot routes. So that's really how you get extra hot routes here in Madden 26, a very valuable tool. All right, so if you enjoyed those first two offensive tips here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down offensive tips and tricks just like this every single day, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want all 5 of these tips in written form to save on your phone during gameplay, make sure you go down below, comment the word Volt, or click the link in the pinned comment. I have access to my full Madden 26 written breakdowns library where you can save all these tips on your phone during gameplay. And the best part is, it's only $1 to try out for your first month. It's really a no-brainer. Please don't let $1 be the reason you're still struggling to win games here at Madden 26 when I'm giving you access to all my tips on your phone. Let's jump right back into it. All right, being able to score touchdowns in one play is cool. Being able to get extra hot routes is also cool. But if you're not using the best offensive settings right now, you're going to be getting streamed at, or your passes are going to be inaccurate. Let me show you the best settings to use on offense right now. All right, so if we pause the game here, we come down to options, we come into settings. All right, we're going to come into game options. If we scroll down until we find the passing mechanics here, this is very important for you guys, and not everyone knows about this. Placement and accuracy is what we refer to as freeform passing, because it gives you that freeform, that extra control of where the ball is going. Now, you want to make sure your placement and accuracy turned on, pass lead increase on small or none. Understand that small has a little bit more increased risk because you can overthrow a lot more passes, but it's still valuable when you can get those crazy pass leads for touchdowns. Reticle speed in between 5 and 20. I like mine on 8, but you should play around with yours and try to get the best feel. But this is very important that I want to break down here. Auto pass protection. Base versus empty, all right? So when you want to use base is when you're playing against standard rushes, right? If I call any play right here, you're going to see how there's going to be no blue lines under my offensive line. That means that EA hasn't given me pass protection, and you don't want EA to give you pass protection, all right? And so when you don't have any blue lines, you're going to be able to see, okay, I'm able to just get default pass protection. I'm going to take the snap. I can just make my reads very, very easily, all right? But here's the problem. If EA gives you pass protection, which means if you're not using auto-based protection, right, EA can half slide or full slide your line in one direction, right? And so what the problem that gets created is this right here. If they shift their defensive line and overload blitz you off of this right side, but your whole line is sliding in the other direction because of EA, well, obviously, you're just going to have a party in the backfield, 3 guys just screaming at your quarterback for a sack fumble, right? And so having it on base makes sure that you're starting the play with basically a clean slate, clean protection, and you're not worried about anything else, right? And so you're going to see, I'm just going to take this snap right here. Again, no blitz. I just have plenty of time to make a read. I'm not getting streamed at. So that's really when you want to use base protection, because you don't want EA to give you this trash kind of default path protection where you're not paying attention, you don't know what's going on, and then a guy walks in your backfield. But when you want to use empty protection is if they're going to call the Texas 4-man custom stunt, for example, or really any custom stunt, any blitz really in this game. Because what you're going to see is if they spread their defensive line, right, you're going to actually watch how this guy is just going to come in the backfield super quick. Right, those guys are just going to loop around that line, and they're just going to scream in your backfield simply because you're in base protection. Base protection, horrible against stunts. So you're going to see it again where that guy, Josh Allen, is just going to loop right through very, very often. Now, you're going to use empty protection against these, right? Against this particular stunt and other stunts like it. The reason why is it's just going to be a little bit more consistent. Now, you still want to block your running back, honestly, against these stunts, just to give yourself, you know, that extra safety net. But you're going to notice how you can see how our protection's a lot better, right? Josh Allen didn't loop all the way around instantly. We were actually able to get some hands on him and make, you know, some good blocks right there. And so that's really because we're in empty protection. And so you also, like I said, want to block your running back. And so you're just going to see it right here. Boom, we're going to take this snap. And our running back has to step up. Now, that time, both of the guys came in, so our running back could only step up to block one of them. So that's why I say you need to, you know, certainly be aware when they're stunting you and getting rid of the ball and using, you know, the right pass protection, blocking your running back, all of that. But it's like empty protection is going to be just a little bit better against those stunts. Still not very good, right? You still, I mean, the best answer against this particular stunt is still just taking a snap and rolling out instantly if you have a fast quarterback, right? And so, I mean, again, that's really your best option. But it's like empty protection, it really gives you the best chance against these stunts. There's also pass protection to block these stunts, but base versus empty. Base against standard rushes, right? Just regular 4-down linemen, so you're not instantly getting sacked. And then empty protection against these blitzes, these stunts, to really help, you know, seal off the interior and force those guys to come in free off the edge. So those are the best passing settings and the best coaching adjustments to use right now on offense. All right, so if you found those first 3 tips helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. You're absolutely not going to miss out on the final 2 tips I have for you in this video and all the future content I have to help you out on offense and defense every single day here in Madden 26. Let's jump right back into it. All right, next I'm going to show you a trick to make your RPOs 10 times better. They're really the easiest play to abuse here in this game, and I'm going to make them even better for you. All right, and so that trick is actually being able to hot route your receivers on RPOs. Now, it's it occurs a lot on RPO alerts, right? So if it has RPO alert in the name, you can normally hot route. In other RPOs, like RPO bubbles, right? Some of these other RPOs, you can't hot route any of your receivers. You're stuck with whatever route EA gives you. But on the ones where you can, you certainly want to. So we can actually hot route 2 receivers here. So if we press Y, we're going to open the hot routes menu. You can hot route B, Noah Brown, or Y, Deebo Samuel, right? And so really what you want to use, honestly, with this alignment right here, using double flats, honestly, is pretty good. So if we put both of our receivers on flats, we're typically going to just be able to make the read. That time, honestly, they did a good job, but shout out to my running back for breaking every tackle. So you want to make sure that you have RPO flats in the field, but also mixing it up depending on the look that they give you. Right here, I think a drag could be good, and then a flat as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take this snap, and we're going to have this flat out here, Deebo. The reason why this is better than the route that he starts to play on, which is a bubble, is simply because the bubble is going to slow you down. So you just lose a lot of momentum with the RPO bubbles versus when you actually have the RPO flat, it's going to be so much easier for you. So you have your drag, you have your flat, they crash down, and then you throw your flat out there and you never lose momentum. You're going to be able to catch the ball in stride and pick up easy first downs out there on the edge. So it's not always going to be, like I said, a flat, right? Sometimes you're going to, use a flat, you're going to use a drag on one guy, and then you can throw that pass. Now, I like the flats. I also like using shrieks, for example. Like, let's just say if they're going to run like cover 4, but then there's going to be no one lined up over this seam kind of area right here. So, I mean, that's just a simulation, right? Where, no one's over the seam. And so you're just going to take the snap, throw that ball in that area and pick it up because you put him on a shriek. Again, because you see no one's lined up over him. So it's really just reading it, getting a good feel. Right here, I'm going to motion my tight end out and put him on a flat. Really, no, I'm going to put him on a slant to disguise or to fake them out, and then I'm going to put Deebo on a flat. So boom, it's going to look something like this, and yes, now I'm just going to throw that pass over the middle. Unfortunately, sometimes those linemen drop back, and so it's a little bit hard to throw. But bottom line here, these flat routes are actually really dangerous because against man coverage, you're also able to see how because we don't lose any momentum, we're able to get out to that flat way sooner and pick up more yards. So right here, I'm going to go with a slant. I'm going to go with a drag. I'm going to try to throw my slant. Again, sometimes you get bumped. I would say the most reliable 2 routes are the flats and the shrieks if they give you the seam. So again, right here, we're going to double flat them. And so we're going to motion our tight end out to get that extra blocker, and we're going to take this snap, and we're going to throw that pass out there. And you see, that's a great example too of a pick, where you're going to get a pick on that guy simply because you have an extra blocker, and now you're able to turn a simple pass for 2 yards into a 25, 30-yard gain. So really, that's the best way to utilize RPOs. If you can hot route your receivers, hot route them to flats if they give you, the flat area to get some extra rack yards versus a bubble where you lose your momentum. And if they give you the seam, put your guy in a streak and just look right at the seam, right off the RPO. That's how you make your RPOs better here in Madden 26. All right, this last tip is the most important to make your passing offense better. Let me introduce you to how to use pocket presence here in Madden 26. Alright, so it really doesn't matter what play, what route concept, what formation you're calling. You need to make sure you're having good pocket presence, because really, if you called a route concept like this, for example, right, this can get open against every defense in the game. So it's a great route concept. You have a post to look over the top, and then you have a mesh concept. But probably what you're doing is you're taking the snap, you're drifting too far back in the pocket, and now when I try to throw a wide open Zach Ertz, the pass gets sailed over the top. It's a red pass. This is what I was referring to in the intro with you sailing passes, and a lot of it is your fault. If you're drifting this far back in the pocket, or you're stepping this far, you're just gonna, like, right there, I had a perfectly clean pocket to step up into, but because I'm drifting backwards, because I'm not stepping up in the pocket, you're going to just take sacks. Right, so really this is what you want to do. Cancel your drop back, step up, and now you see, because I step up, I get rewarded with a blue pass, which is basically a perfect pass, and so then I'm going to be able to just catch that ball for a huge gain, simply because I stepped up and I'm not drifting back. So again, you also don't want to be drifting in one direction. You see how when I drift away from my target, it makes it even harder. Balls in the air, pass gets intercepted to, again, a guy who's wide open. You called a great play, you called a great route concept, but your pocket presence was bad. And really the best way to improve your pocket presence is to take the snap, flip the left stick up so that you can cancel your drop back, and now you can make reads. Now, you can still move around in the pocket that your offensive line creates for you just a little bit, but you don't ever really want to step outside of that pocket unless you're already planning on taking off. So right here, perfect pocket, I step up, I see a lane up the middle, and that's also something that you can do as well, is because you're stepping up, you're having good pocket presence, you're also able to take off a lot better, with your quarterback here. So again, we're going to take this snap, cancel that drop back, step up, and there's going to be times like right there where you cancel your drop back, step up, but you're stepping into rushers. You're going to take sacks. That's still fine for you because you're only taking 2-yard sacks. It's not going to be very often that happens if you're calling good plays. So again, step up in the pocket. Right now, we're just going to try to hit our tight end post. That's an example of why freeform passing is important. I didn't freeform that pass. That ball is behind that receiver. But it's like you don't want to just take the snap, drift too far back. This drag is wide open, but now by the time I try to throw it, it's inaccurate, right? And it's a red pass and it's incomplete. So it's like if you just take the snap, right, and flick your left stick up, cancel your drop back, move up in the pocket, and try to find someone open, you're going to see that your passing offense is just going to be way better. But you're going to say, BLT, it's really not that easy for me. How do I really go about improving my pocket presence? Respot the ball in practice mode to the 1-yard line, and you're going to notice how you're going to have no choice now, because if you step out of the back of the end zone, or if you drift back, you're stepping out of the back of the end zone, the play's over. So it's like when they blitz you, pocket presence is even more important. And obviously when they don't blitz you, it's important too. But now you're going to notice how you're just going to take these, take the snap, and you're trying to not drift out of the back of the end zone, but you're also trying to move around in the pocket and not take sacks. Right? Never get called for a safety here. So step up, step up, step up. If I need to take off, I will. You always want to be keeping your eyes down the field to throw the ball. But again, really the best thing that you can do right here is take the snap and, move around the pocket and, just try to, you could throw on the run right there. You see that there's a lane open on that left side, so you take it. But really know that if you're going to be drifting outside the pocket, you have a higher chance to throw inaccurates, and you also have a higher chance to take sacks. So really what you want to do, just move around in that pocket and try to deliver the ball. So really that's the best way to improve your pocket presence, simply taking the snap, flicking the left stick or L3 up to cancel your drop back, and then stepping up and moving around in the pocket to make it a lot easier to find windows and find guys open. But that's pocket presence and the importance it has here in Madden 26. Alright, so if you found any of those 5 offensive tricks helpful here in Madden 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down tips and tricks just like this every single day on both sides of the ball to help you guys get better, and I'm the only one doing it right now. So again, make sure you hit that subscribe button What are you thinking? But if you want all 5 of these tricks in written form to save on your phone during gameplay, go to the link down below in the pinned comment, join Madden University, where you're going to get your first month for only $1. You're going to get access to all of my written breakdowns, all of my tips, so that you can save them on your phone during gameplay. It's really a no-brainer. Your first month's only going to be $1. Don't let $1 be the reason you're still struggling on offense or defense here in Madden 26. But if you want to see 5 defensive tricks that will actually help you get better in Madden 26 and win more games, check out this video right here. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.